So the Dallas Mavericks are really, really struggling at the minute. And I gotta say, at this stage, the Dallas Mavericks, you could argue, has a Luka Doncic problem. And it's a weird one because we saw in the playoffs last year, even on one leg, the defense improved. We saw in the regular season last year, the defense improved. Like, we've seen Luka Doncic improve on that end of the floor. As well as that, we have seen him just improve year on year on year. But the problem with Luka is now that it's clear whatever injury he had over the summer, like if you guys saw Luka playing for Slovenia in the Olympic qualifiers, he couldn't move. It's clear that whatever injury he has had has not recovered. His knees are still bleeding. Like every single time Luka Doncic goes to plays a long game, his knees start bleeding again. And he's just not moving well. He simply put is not moving well. These are his last couple of games, by the way. So statistically, you look at him, he's still the GOAT of fantasy basketball. 37-7-9, 31-8-6, 24-9-9, 37-7. And he is still putting up incredible numbers. But it's not translating to winning. And that's just the reality of it all, is that it's not translating to winning at all. Like, the Dallas Mavericks are not a good team. And they should be. Like, they genuinely should be. Like, there's no excuse for this Dallas Mavericks team not to be a top 4 seed in the West. And they just lost to the Utah Jazz. Like, the Dallas Mavericks are currently the 12th seed. And I get it. Like, there are other teams that are struggling. Like, the Minnesota Timberwolves have not been good. But, like, they're behind the San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs. And the problem is they're 1-6 in crunch time games. They can't win close games. And that's where it's coming down to. Like, Luka Doncic's overall play this season has been fine. It's been fine. The problem is just he has been one of the worst crunch time players ever to start the season. Like, they'll be down one up one late in games and he'll start shooting 30-footers. Like, I don't mind if Luka Doncic was just missing a couple of shots. But it seems like he's just almost forgetting how to play once it gets to crunch time. So let's take a look at this play last night. And by the way, this isn't just on Luka Doncic. This is the play that lost him the game. So, you've got, if you just look at this side of the floor for now. First of all, there's like, Luka Doncic is out of position here. But what Luka should be doing, if he wants to stand there, cool. Because for him to throw that pass, he has to throw the lob, which means Lively's got to be able to help over. So if he ends up having to throw the lob pass from here to here, Lively's going to come in and intercept that pass. He's not out of position now. But look, as we go on in the game, he's still not that far out of position. So a lot of people are saying that, okay, yeah, he's very out of position. The problem is now, if you look at where he's gone from here, where even with that lob pass being thrown, even if he cuts there, in this position, he can't just throw a fucking chest pass. He can't throw a chest pass if Luka Doncic is here. But what does Luka do? He moves this way, giving the lane for a chest pass. He moves that way. So he's out of position here. He's so out of position here. Like, he's guarding literally nobody right now. Lively, however, first of all, Lively, you got to see that. You got to plant yourself here. You got to plant yourself here because this skip pass you can recover to. So Lively is a little bit at fault. Luka's very at fault. And then, what's his name? I forgot the dude's name on the wing. But, like, look what they do here. Like, what is that? What is that? Like, I don't know what's going on. This guy, like, he's leaving that pass, the weird skip pass open. Like, I don't know what he's doing on defense. I don't know what Luka's doing on defense. But now Luka's even closer to the sideline. Luka's guarding him. Like, Luka's in position to guard him. It's like, Luka is not even looking at the ball. And Lively, what are you doing? What are you doing, Derek Lively? But, first of all, none of this entire defense rotation, him being out of position there, that's awful. But if Luka is just here, like, take 2 steps back, Luka, and nothing is on for them. Instead, you give up a layup or a dunk. Like, what is that? What is that? Like, look, Nobody on the Dallas Mavericks there play good defense. Except for Clay and whoever was on the ball. Like, don't get it wrong. Lively was in a bad position. Whoever the other guy on the wing was with Luka Doncic was equally as out of position. But being that out of position is more important when your player is at the basket. Luka is literally guarding the wrong player. I don't even know what he's doing. Like, there's no way to explain it. That is one of the biggest lapses in defense I might have ever seen. Genuinely one of the biggest lapses of defense that I've ever seen in an NBA game. Like, he just tie game to the freaking Utah Jazz. You're playing the Utah Jazz. This is a given. This is a given game. And if you win that game, you go tie with the Minnesota Timberwolves. You're in that play-in spot. Like, if you want to look at the teams at the top of the West, I think the Suns might drop out. But the Houston Rockets are a good young team that are like rolling right now. The Thunder are not dropping out of the top 6. The Warriors are probably not dropping out of the top 6. The Nuggets are not dropping out of the top 6. The Rockets are not dropping out of the top 6. The Suns are not dropping out of the top 6. But then you've also got the Grizzlies and the Kings, who are good teams. And the Clippers and Spurs could mess about and make the play-in. Like, you've got to be in that top 6 seeds. And I get it. Dallas are one of those teams. So same with Minnesota. They are one of those teams that if they go into 7 or 8, and let's say things finish as they are, and they go in as the 7th seed, and they face the Warriors in the first round, that's an even enough series. The problem is that they've got to just start being better, and they're so bad in crunch time. Look, the only reason, like, if Luka Doncic is not playing for the Dallas Mavericks, they're not even in these games, by the way. I do want to make that a point. Like, if Luka's not playing for them, a lot of the time they're not in these games. Like, he had 37, 7, and 9. Like, he is, as an individual, for 3/4 a lot of the time balling. And for every clip of him playing bad defense during, like, they're like, oh, in the game he's getting cooked. But, like, there's enough clips of him playing good defense. The problem is teams target him. They target him to try to tire him out. And when you're being targeted, you're going to have enough of, you're going to have some good clips on defense and some bad clips on defense. But it doesn't really matter when you are having the worst spell of clutch basketball in the history of the sport. I don't remember somebody through 7 clutch games to arguably choke 6 of 7 of them in the first 12 games of the season. Like, they have lost. They're 1-6 in crunch time. They've lost 7 games. They've lost 6 of them in crunch time. They're on a 4-game losing streak. And they've lost all of them in crunch time. And all of them were caused by him. Well, not directly caused by him. All of them were at least partially caused by Luka Doncic shitting the bed in the clutch. Yes, Luka's one of the best players in the world. Yes, he is fantastic. Yes, the Mavs would not be in the position to get into crunch time without him a lot of the time. He has been garbage in crunch time.